Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for taking some time for us today. We are really excited to be meeting with you and to share a little bit more information about MGT. This is one of my favorite 30-minute sessions of the whole week. This is where we get to connect directly with you, the agents who are most engaged, most interested in learning about MGT and making the most of every opportunity that lands on your desk. So before we jump off today, let's go ahead and do a quick round of introductions. And Allie, why don't you get us kicked off?
Thank you, Dan. Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to be here and learn more about the MGT platform and products. Uh, my name is Ali Essian. I'm the head of partnership success over here and really look forward to working closely with you all. We have a great team. We're very responsive and we are proud of our platform in all the things, the way agents like to work. We love to know how we can best support you in those efforts. Thanks, Dan.
Yes. And my name's Dan. I'm the partner activation leader here at MGT, or what you can think of me of is as your MGT fixer. If you're ever not sure who to reach out to, need some extra support, have some questions, please always feel welcome to reach out. And I am here to help along with the rest of the great team here at MGT. Now, quick note all along the way during our presentation today, please feel welcome to use that chat button. I just sent a quick message. Allie just sent a quick message. So that should highlight it on your screen for you. Just because of the scale of these webinars, we can't have everybody with their mics on, but we absolutely love questions. So please use that chat feature. If you see anything during the presentation that you want to dig into or talk more about, we'll be happy to do that. So let's go ahead and get things kicked off. I'm going to share my screen here, and we will be very excited to share with you how the era of Neo Insurance has arrived. Now, I know we've got some folks sitting at their desks saying, wow, Dan, we haven't even been on this call for 3 minutes yet. You're already throwing crazy buzzwords at us. What the heck is Neo Insurance? And to answer that question, I would say you can kind of think of us in context of the larger industry. We have got the insurance carriers out there that we all know, sometimes love, the big companies that have been protecting people's businesses and homes for decades, sometimes even hundreds of years, for all the great things that they do. As they've grown, as they've evolved, I don't think it's unfair to say that their number one priority has not been to make things fast and easy. And a word we actually use here a lot that you don't often hear associated with insurance is delightful. We've had over the last several years different insure techs joining the space. There's a lot of different ways they can be organized, sometimes MGAs, MGUs, fronting companies, wholesalers, comparative rating platforms. But boil it all down, kind of peel away some of the buzzwords there. What do? They tend to take a layer of technology, put that on top of somebody else's insurance product to deliver a better user experience. But a lot of times, even that technology that they're using, they often didn't build themselves. A lot of times it's provided by a vendor. And so they really don't have a lot of control over that insurance product that they are distributing, or even sometimes the technology that they're using to do that. That's where MGT is different. We are the carrier. We stand behind the risks that we underwrite through our platform. We have the capital to back those claims. We built the technology that you'll see in action here in just a few minutes. And we even have in-house management of our claims process. And so because we control that entire life cycle of the policy from the actuarial work to set the appetite and the rates all the way out to adjusting claims when those occur, it really gives us the ability to make things fast and easy, delightful, not just for you, but also for our mutual clients, the policyholders as well. So a couple quick facts here about MGT. Again, we are rated A minus by AM Best. That's an excellent financial strength rating. We're also writing all of our policies on the most legally tested forms on the market, the ISO BOP forms. We've built a zero friction process, which I think you'll all appreciate. As you work with MGT, you will never need to look at an accord form. We will never come back to you and ask you to fill out 45 pages of supplementals so that we can approve the quote that you got. We will never ask you to do 3 weeks of back and forth email chains to communicate with underwriting and try and get more information and negotiate terms. You'll find actually that working through our platform, quotes can be completed as fast as 3 to 5 minutes. That will produce a fully bindable quote. So you can take that to the bank. And then to go through the binding process will just take another few minutes. It'll be instantly issued. You'll have access to all the policy documents within another 30 seconds or so. We also have a wide footprint. We are admitted today in 44 states and Washington, D.C. So a couple quick facts here. One of my favorites to touch on is that we had 100% uptime in the last quarter. That's just the last quarter we can fully go back and measure since we're still in the tail end of the second quarter this year. And so what that means is that 100% of the time, somebody needed to access MGT to answer a question, to quote, bind, issue, service, or renew a policy, to help somebody make a midterm adjustment, to check payment information. Whatever the case was, our platform was live, it was online, it wasn't throwing up error messages or endless loading screens. It was there to help you accomplish the goals that you had when you accessed the website. Now, we do have a pretty robust appetite for small businesses. We're writing over 300 classes of business. We're a great fit for artisan contractors, professional offices, medical offices, retail stores, barber shops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants up to 50% alcohol sales, and more can all be a great fit with MGT. Again, we are focused on small business. To us, that means up to 3 million in revenue for most risks and up to 5 million revenue for professional and medical offices. We're writing risks with up to 100 employees, up to 35,000 square feet as a general rule of thumb. There's a little nuance there from class to class. We will write up to 2 million in total insured value in property per location with up to 4 locations per policy. We're also flexible. We're able to write new ventures, businesses with no prior insurance, coverage lapses, claims history. So don't hold yourself back. When you get that nice, neat, perfect slam dunk submission on your desk, send it our way. We'll show you how easy it really can be. But even if it's got a little more, interesting characteristics to it, a little bit tougher, send those our way as well. Don't hold yourself back. We'll show you how easy those can be too. So I get caught all the time saying that we write just the BOP or we write only BOPs, but the reality is we can do a lot more than just the BOP. We've got a lot of optional coverages that you could add in to really tailor that policy to enhance that kind of baseline BOP coverage, including some very interesting ones like professional liability. That's available for barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, and photographers. We often find that is driving buying decisions, especially for the nail salons, beauty parlors, and barbershops. We've got hired non-owned auto available for most of our classes of business, including artisan contractors, including restaurants that aren't doing any self-delivery. Most of our office risk classes are able to add hired non-owned auto. And so that's also a very impactful coverage that can be very helpful to talk about and maybe find some coverage gaps that way. If we've got anybody joining us from a monopolistic workers' comp state, I had to learn what workers' comp stopgap coverage is for you all, so I always have to highlight that that's available too. And if you're in any of these 4 states, that's easy to add on to your quote as well. Now, we do have some different optional coverages and sublimits that you are able to really, adjust the limits for and kind of tailor those to the business as well. When you're working through our platform, all these optional coverages and sublimits, when you're making the adjustments to them, you'll only have options for bindable terms. It's never going to show you terms that you can't stand behind. We do have some coverage enhancements available specifically for restaurants as well. We've got the premises security coverages. They have access to higher limits for spoilage and contamination. They've got the higher non-owned auto that we discussed. And this is kind of a fun one. If they are doing any valet operations, they have access to up to $150,000 in limits for damage to customers' properties. And we actually added this by request from an agent we work with who writes a lot of restaurants. And that's something where, if we were maybe a more traditional legacy insurance carrier, even if they wanted to do that, it might take them 3 years to actually add that coverage in. If it was an insure tech, they might not be able to because, again, it's not really their insurance product that they're distributing. With MGT, in our position as the world's first AI-driven neo insurer, we were able to add that in a matter of days. And that's the kind of speed that you'll find is fairly typical here. So we've also got some extra coverages available for contractors. They've got access to miscellaneous tools and equipment coverage up to $100,000 in limits. They've got the contractors installation coverages to protect materials while they're in transit or at a job site. So definitely always encourage that. They've got the higher non-owned auto as well. So a lot of good stuff there. And so let's go ahead now and see how it all works. Before we jump into the platform itself, I always like to show off our appetite page. And we actually just got a great question in the chat. So let's take a look at how, you might handle some questions like this when they come your way. For those of you following along at home, I just went to mgtinsurance.com and then clicked on the appetite tab here in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Talat had a great question. For restaurant, would you folks accept if they have a hookah exposure? Uh,
Perfect timing for this question. Right,
Absolutely.
right on time, what Dan was going to show you.
So Amy is available to you 24/7, 365. She's our AI-powered appetite assistant. And Amy is able to get quick answers for you. In this case, unfortunately, hookahs would not be a great fit in our appetite. And instead of having to jump in, run a quote, spend 3 to 5 minutes working on it, and then find that out, you can just fire up the appetite page, ask Amy, and in just a couple seconds, we've got answers back. We could also say, can you write a barbecue restaurant with 8,000 square feet, 25% alcohol sales, and 15 employees? And Amy is able to kind of even dig through a more complex question like this, where we're asking about a few different appetite details and comes back with an answer, to let us know that the maximum area of a restaurant is 7,500 square feet. And so, again, you can get that kind of quick answer when you need it. And this is much, much more helpful, I think, than just having a list of eligible class codes. So I always like to start out by highlighting this. The real fun, though, that happens when we sign in and get into the platform. And when we do that, you'll be in the homepage. Looks just like this. From here, we've got options to start a quote. We could use the build your team or the user management page to add new users to your office. Then if you do have any appetite questions here, you can access that information as well. Along the sidebar, you've got options for home, policies, quotes, and user management, all pretty self-explanatory. So let's go ahead and start a quote. And then the very first thing we'll do is enter in the name of the business. So I'll just do one real quick for Jason's Deli that's here in Richmond. And in my experience, almost every time I go in here looking for a specific business, it's able to find that business. If it's ever not for you, that might happen once in a while. You can click enter business info manually and just key in their name and their address. So now we'll click continue. We'll select business owner policy, and then we will see the class code. Now, during this process behind the scenes, our technology is looking up over 3,900 different data points on this business. It's using it to classify the risk, which you can see here it did as a deli or sandwich shop. Sounds pretty accurate to me for a Jason's Deli. If we did need to make any updates to it, we can just click into that drop-down box and then select the class code that best describes that risk. We'll click continue. First couple questions will always be the same. Have there been any claims and do they need building coverage? We'll just leave those as they are and click continue here. And then you'll start to see in this next page, these questions are being pre-filled for us based on the information that our technology found. So let's go ahead. We'll give them 15% alcohol sales. Then we'll click continue again. You'll see some additional information. And, I think that it's pretty accurate. We're pulling from data sources that have at least a 90% confidence level. So we're at least 90% sure they're correct. But every once in a while, nobody knows that risk better than you. You might see something that looks a little off. And if we need to make any changes, it's as easy as keying in the correct information. You're not locked in to what the algorithms have found. We'll click continue again. We'll go ahead and give them some sales. And then in this next page, we can add any additional insureds and add building information. To add the additional insureds, we'll answer one question. Then we'll just click add additional insured, select the type of additional insured, and then enter in their name, address, and answer a couple questions. There can be additional premiums for these endorsements, and so I always like to recommend adding them up front if you know they'll be needed. We are able to add additional insureds and other endorsements after a policy is bound as well, but it can again affect the price. So better to do it up front if you know that it'll be required. From here, you can see the building information has been found also by the technology kind of powering our quoting platform. It found the square footage of the building. It found the joisted masonry construction type. It knows there are no automatic sprinklers here. And some of you may recall from our conversation with Amy that the square footage displayed here is too high. Now, don't adjust this information just to get a quote back. Maybe I'm not setting the absolute best example here, but just to give you an idea of what the process looks like, I'm going to update that to 7,000 square feet. We'll adjust the BPP limit as well. And again, anytime we need to make changes, it's as easy as just keying in the correct information. If we need to add any buildings or add any locations, we can do that on this page as well. I'll click continue here. In the next page, we've got one last question. We will choose to keep the TRIA coverage on once it proceeds to the next page. And then we'll click continue again, and it will start to build our quote. In just a matter of seconds, we should have a fully bindable quote ready to be edited and then sent out to finalize. And so I'll just pause here real quick. If anybody has any questions, again, please feel welcome to ask those in the chat, and we can pause here and answer any questions that come in.
Let us know. We're here. We're here to answer all of them.
So we've got the premium return for us here. Next step is just to go through and review and edit any of the sublimits. We got a great question here from Jackie. Is the property information pulling from ISO? And we actually work with dozens of different data vendors to find over 3,900 different data points on a submission. Some of it, comes from different data vendors. Some of it actually comes from the AI agents doing things like when we find the square footage, it'll actually look up the address of that business, trace out the footprint of the building from satellite imagery, and then use that to calculate out the square footage. So really interesting what goes on behind the scenes. It's kind of like an iceberg. You just see the tip, which is everything being super fast and easy. But underneath the water there's a lot of action going on. So the rest of this page, I'm sure, would be familiar to anybody who's worked through online quoting platforms. One thing I will show you, though, is that as we add coverages or make any adjustments here, you'll see that the premium updates for us live as we go through this process. So you can kind of see the effects of any changes that you're making on the premium. If we wanted to maybe raise the deductible, we could do that as well. And you'll see again that that premium updates for us. Once we've got all the changes in that we'd like to make, we'll just click Update Quote, and then that locks those changes in. And now this is the active or the live version of the quote. Once this updates for us, then we'll go ahead and proceed through the binding process so you can see how fast and how easy that is as well. To do that, we'll click Continue to Bind. We'll confirm the effective date, and then we'll enter in the policyholder's contact information. Now we'll click confirm and send to insured, and this will actually send a policy, a link to finalize the policy to the applicant. All they have to do is check their email. They'll have a message in there. It actually just hit my inbox. That's how fast it is. What you'll be able to do is actually keep track of what's happening with that link once it's been sent out. So this is really helpful to kind of sharpen your follow-up. That way you know exactly where they're at in the process, if you need to give them a call or shoot over an email to help kind of shepherd them through the rest of it. If you ever are working with somebody who needs a little extra hand-holding, or if they aren't receiving that link for one reason or another, you can always click copy share link here. And then you can send that out as a text message. You can send it out as your own email. What I will do though is open up a new tab, paste it in, and then we'll see what the process looks like from the insured's perspective. From here, we'll just select annual, quarterly, or monthly payments. If we do select the installment options, then you can click View Payment Schedule to see exactly how much each installment will be and when it will be due. So we'll go ahead and click Continue. The next step, we'll e-sign all of our policy documents. And this replaces that whole process I know everybody's had to deal with, where you download everything, print it out, get it signed, scan it back in, send it over to somebody who says, hey, wait, you missed a signature on page 87. Can you redo that entire process and send it back to me? All you have to do when you're working with MGT is give it the official legal squiggle. Everybody always loves how easy it is. We'll agree to e-signing, and then you can click Start Signing to go through page by page, line by line, and review every signature. Or I'll just click Sign All, knock it all out in one click of a button. All those documents then get emailed over to the policyholder, so they'll have them in their inbox. If they need to reference those in the future, they'll be saved for you in our platform as well. So if you need to go back and reference those, you'll have access to them as well.
Oh, we have another question, Dan.
Here,
Uh,
let me finish up the
okay.
payment
All right.
process, and then
Okay.
we'll answer that. But great question. So just to finish up the payment process, we can select card or ACH. We do accept credit, debit, all major credit card brands. I'll select ACH here and then just enter in the payment information. Auto pay is automatically selected. We can always unselect it if we'd prefer to, but I like to say keep it on when we can. And then we'll agree to the terms, click complete transaction. And then we have an invoice number, so we know that account's been bound. And when we go back here, all these check boxes will update for us, so we know everything's been bound. And we can click into View Policy Details to access the policy information page. So let's go back to that question.
Yeah. Can you see it on your end? Should they expect an inspection after the policy is bound?
Yes. So we do inspect in certain situations. Anytime there's building coverage on a policy, anytime we're binding a policy for a restaurant or a convenience store, even if there's not building coverage, we will send an inspector out to the business to make sure everything looks good. And so in those cases, within 30 days of the effective date, we'll have an inspector go out. If there are any recommendations, we'll get those over to you. And, it should be a pretty familiar process from there. But great question. So here on the policy page, we've got a lot of important information available right on the screen. Service teams really love this page. They will be able to see things like the policy timeline, all the documents, the payment information is really helpful to have access to. You can click view schedule and again see exactly when each payment is due and how much each installment will be. You can download receipts and invoices. You can see that auto pay is turned on. We actually added that feature based on a customer's request as well. So just another example of kind of how we're able to build this platform to meet your needs because we control the whole process. Up here under the quick actions button, we've also got an option to generate a certificate of insurance. And so within 30 seconds of that payment going through and the policy being bound, you can generate a certificate of insurance, send that off to whoever needs to see it, and then move on to the next thing on your desk. So just a couple examples here of accounts that we've found recently that I think show a pretty good job um, or do a pretty good job illustrating the types of accounts that will be a good help with. In addition to these, I would say think about us first on grocery stores, convenience stores, restaurants up to 50% alcohol sales, medical offices, and professional offices. We've been doing really well with risks in those industries over the last few months. I'd also say keep us in mind on retail stores. We do a pretty good variety of different retail stores, anything from farm and garden supply to electronics and cell phone stores, shoe stores, clothing stores can all be a great fit. So definitely when those opportunities come your way, come to MGT, knock them out in just a few minutes.
Hey Dan, we have a question from Jackie. I just wanted to confirm all COIs are to be generated in the system, not in-house. That is not necessarily the case. We have the self-servicing capabilities to generate those through the system, or if you have a special request, do we show them the endorsement uh, page?
Oh yeah, so you can access the endorsements page at mgtinsurance.com/endorsements. And if you need to make any midterm adjustments to a policy, you could just enter in your name and contact information, policy information, let us know the type of endorsement, and then you've got the additional information box to provide any information that you need to display there. So, great follow-up question. Is there any discussion on adding assault and battery coverage or a sublimit? I believe that the state of play right now is that our policies are silent on assault and battery.
That's
And as we all know, if it's not specifically excluded, it's covered. So there is coverage for it up to the policy limit. Um, we actually are considering adding exclusions for it in certain cases where the details of the risk would justify that. But right now, it's available for you. It's available to our insured. So, if that's a concern, I would definitely say look at our policies because they'll have that coverage for you. So, really good question, Jackie. Um, and so, just going back here, I'll leave this up for the rest of our time together this afternoon. What you just got to see over the last few minutes is the mighty good technology that's available through MGT. What you will get to experience as you have a chance to work with us more is the mighty good team that's here to stand behind that technology and continue to deliver on that promise to make things fast and easy and delightful for you when you need some extra assistance and support. So you've got all my contact info here. You've also got Annalise. She's actually out today on some very well-deserved vacation time. She'll be back tomorrow though, so she'll probably be in a really great mood. I mean, she always is. She's a great resource for you. Always happy to help. We've got instant access to our underwriting and customer support team through our instant message chats. I actually really like to recommend using the instant message chat feature when you can. because that actually gives the team some extra context with where you're at on the website, if you're working through a quote, anything else. So they can just get answers to you that much faster. And that's available from 9 a.m. Eastern to 8 p.m. Eastern. So you get really good coverage throughout the day. And then the famous goat who we all met at the beginning of our session, Amy, is available to you 24/7, 365 for any appetite questions. So that is the end of our presentation. Right on the dot, 30 minutes. Couldn't have planned that better myself. If anybody has any last questions, I think we put 45 minutes on the calendar for this session. That's just to make sure that we're available and you have our full and undivided attention. So if you do have any last questions, please get those out in the chat, and we're here to help and to support you that way.
Well,
All right, I must have done a good job today.
yes, you did.
Well, we had some great questions along the way too. And if anything comes up, if you sign out and then 3 seconds later it pops into your head, you just wish you would have asked this or that, copy down this contact information and feel welcome to reach out anytime.
Thank you so much for your time today.
Yes, we really appreciate you all taking the time for us. And Jackie, I see your hands raised. I'll hang out here for another few minutes if you do have another question. Always happy to help. But for everyone else, thank you so much again for your time. Really appreciate you joining us. We're really excited to be working with you, and hope we can be a great partner to you and to the businesses in your community.
Thanks all. Have a great rest of your week. Let's see. So are you able to see that, Dan? I
Oh,
can
yeah,
hit.
I see that. Yeah, Jackie, I would say go ahead and email me and I can get some more information and take a look. My understanding was we didn't have exclusions for assault and battery built in yet. That could have changed and just nobody told me. But shoot me over a quick email and we'll work through that together. So thank you so much, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll look forward to working with you soon.
Bye all.